If I started DoorDash today and was brand new, I wish I would have known these things that I am going to tell you today. After 17,000 deliveries, hopefully these are going to make your life less stressful, easier, and make you more money right out of the gate. You remember your first day on DoorDash? Even your first week? Yeah, I do. In this video, I am going to reveal DoorDash secrets every Dasher needs to know to start right out of the gate. And the last one, in my opinion, is the most important to know. My very first day on DoorDash, in my opinion, was a disaster because I feel like I really didn't do enough research. I didn't know what I was doing. Everything that came to my phone, I took, right? That's the right thing to do. No. But the icing on the cake was my very first customer. I picked up the order, I'm delivering it, and this lady is messaging me nonstop. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I didn't even know what a message was at that point. But I finally get to this customer's house, and she comes storming out of her house, and she is like raging mad. And I'm thinking, what the heck is wrong with this lady? I have her food. So, and I even had it in the hot bag. Like, I was professional. And right off the bat, what took you so long? I was going to go and get the order myself because it's an hour later. She just was going off. And I said, ma'am, I just got the order. Here you go. Have a good day. And I walked away. I didn't even know what to do. But back then, 7 years ago, everything was a hint to me customer. This was even before you can leave something at someone's door. Oh, so I am going to tell you things today that I wish I would have known right off the bat. So you can hit the ground running, starting DoorDash on the right foot. And hey, even experienced drivers, you can share your own stories. What was your first day, your first week? Do you have any horror stories like my story? Go ahead and let me know. Okay, so let's get right into this. They don't tell you this because I took almost every order for the very first week until I found out you really don't have to. You don't get in trouble for declining. You can decline. You need to make a decision, though, if you are going to try to be a part of the DoorDash tier program. They didn't have this when I started. So if you know you can do 100 deliveries per month and you know that you can maintain above a 70% acceptance rate, then you know what? You know where you stand, and you have the ability to decline down to the 70%. However, if you are part-time, 10 hours a week, honestly, I don't know whether you would care about the tier system. And in that case, DoorDash does not penalize drivers for declining or having a low acceptance rate. You can go all the way down to zero, never be deactivated. So guys, don't take the crap orders right off the bat. But if they are good enough to take, because here's the thing, when you start DoorDash, your first, I think it's 50 deliveries, they treat you like you are a platinum driver. You get some really decent orders. So don't decline if it's not worth it. That's my opinion. Take orders, see how the app works, get to know it, and you're going to be fine. Okay, next, you can cancel an order. Now, the rule of thumb is you can't go below 90%. Cancel an order means that you have the order, you took the order, but you decide, this really isn't for me. Maybe it has, you got to shop and deliver, and it has like 5 cases of water in it, and you're like, I'm not doing this. You can cancel orders if you have to or you need to. DoorDash's policy is you can go down to 90%. And in that case, go ahead, don't waste your time and do what you need to do. But no one told me this until probably a month into doing DoorDash, and I'm sitting and I'm waiting. This is before worry-free cancellations. And another Dasher, he was so nice, came up to me. He's like, are you waiting for a DoorDash? And I said, yeah, it's been a while. He's like, why didn't you just cancel it? I'm like, you can do that. So I wish I would have known that when I started. Here's the next thing. If you go to the lines, if you're in an order, you go to the lines in the top left-hand corner, guys, pause for everything, especially if you're new. You take an order, pause, because if you don't pause when you take an order, there could be add-ons. There could be orders that they add on for like $2 because they're trying to get crap orders delivered. They can be taking you to areas that you don't want to be in afterwards, and they're going to send you another one. This eliminates everything, and it actually makes you think about what you're doing when you're first starting DoorDash. So definitely use that pause feature wisely. Next, utilize your preferences. If it was me and I was starting DoorDash, I would at least try being the key word, to do one shop and deliver, do one alcohol delivery, figure out the certification for alcohol, and find out if it is right or wrong for you before you make snap judgments if it is, because there are some good money involved with some orders that aren't food delivery. In that case, the more you have toggled on, the more earning opportunities you have as a dasher. And the more you have toggled off, the less opportunities you have. So get to know preferences and what works best for you. Next, don't pay attention to other drivers' advice. Don't pay attention to the money you're making, because everybody works DoorDash apps differently and has their own method, and you need to learn what your own is. There's some good advice out there, but man, there is some really bad advice out there as well. Learn the app yourself. Learn how to make your own money. Don't pay attention. Block everybody out and do you, because you're going to learn the app the best way you know how to work it in your own market. Now, this really doesn't have anything to do with DoorDash, but it kind of does. Don't just sign up for DoorDash, sign up for other apps. You might not need it now, but when it slows down and there are so many slow times and fast times and in between, you're going to need more apps. There's so many apps out there, but you always want to have a backup, because DoorDash really isn't the most reliable one to have. They might be the most busiest, but doesn't mean that you're going to make the most amount of money. Okay, don't fall for scams because they target new drivers. You might not know this because you're just starting, but there are people who will call your phone pretending to be support, and they will try to cancel your order or say that they want to cancel your order because you just took an order for one item, sauce packet, something that just doesn't make sense. But they might try to get you to tell them information like your login information, your telephone number, anything personal information they can to get into your account. Do not ever give out any information, including to people in support. They will never ask you for anything personal, including telephone numbers, logins, social security numbers, so on and so forth. Never fall for the scam. In that case, safeguard your earnings, and guys, cash out every single day. If you have the Crimson card, it is free and it automatically gets cashed out. But if you're doing it to your bank account, which is perfectly fine, it's a big pain in the butt. There are fees involved, but trust me, would you rather someone get your account and take away $200 or $30? Never leave yourself vulnerable. If you take upside down orders, which means that the miles are bigger than the dollar amount that is shown on your offer screen, I'm going to advise you not to take them, because you are losing money if you do. That's the bottom line, because you're putting wear and tear in your car, you're using more gas, and what it ends up being, and if you do the math, you are actually not profiting anything if the miles are greater than the dollar amount. So make your choices wisely. I advise never to take them. You will not make more money during peak pay. So peak pay is when DoorDash deems that there might be very busy times in your area, and they'll throw $1 at dashers for a period of time, usually about 2 hours, maybe an hour, $2, $2.50, and you may think, oh great, I can make extra money for every single order I take. Well, that sounds really fantastic, right? Everybody wants more money. Wrong. The thing with peak pays, it brings out more drivers because you fill it for it too. Everybody wants to make more money. So every driver, known to man, comes out And the next thing you know, you're not getting orders because there's too many Dashers, and you're just sitting there waiting, thinking, man, when's my next order is going to come because I want to make money. You end up usually making less money during peak days. In my opinion, this is the most important thing. There is no such thing as a perfect order. If you are sitting around, you're not making money. The minute you take an order, you are making money. If you have watched other people or have taken advice and they're thinking that you need to wait around for the best order to come in, it's a good theory, but if you wait too long, you're missing out and making money. The thing with DoorDash is the more you work it, the more money, the more orders they're going to send you, the more money you're going to make. So always choose your orders wisely. If you're trying to raise your acceptance rate, take as many as you possibly can. However, do the right thing and take orders, because the minute you're not making any money, and that's what you're there to do. You're there to make the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time you possibly can. They always say time is money, and that is so true when it comes to DoorDash. I think the biggest thing that Dashers forget about is to go out and have fun. This should be fun, right? Especially if you're doing this for 10 hours less. It's part-time. Like, it gets you out of the house. It gets you away from doing your normal, mundane W-2 job. And it's there to put some extra money in your pocket. So let me know, is there anything that you particularly think is really great advice, my experienced Dashers out there? Is there anything that you wish you knew when you first started doing DoorDash? You know, as a new Dasher, they will send you a welcome kit in the mail, which includes a hot bag and a whole bunch of other stuff. So the question that a lot of Dashers have, do you use a hot bag? Do you not use a hot bag? Well, you're going to want to check this video out next, because I answer all of those questions, and I'll see you over there.